Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm Casey4 and welcome back to Aether Iron, where we've made it into Mr. Blanc's secret hideout, and now, we need to look for information on the trust. But before we do that, let's have a nosy around and see what's going on here first.
An expensive liquor collection filled with rare vintages. My Zio would have marveled at the bottles for a full second before making off with the entire set. The bottles are arranged by date rather than name for some reason. I know this banner. It's for a mercenary group in the uppers, the Blacktails. As nasty a crew as you'll find anywhere. They'd cut your throat for a nickel and sit down to a plate of spaghetti in the same breath. Mr. Blanc's private arsenal. The weapons here tell stories of warfare, of clandestine affairs, of time spent in Germany, the Americas, the Congo. Blanc either had connections, or his hands were soaked with blood. This shelf houses various fangs and paws from exotic animals. A series of scorched stones labeled Great War are also shelved here, each of them dated. There are a few empty spots.
If this ever gets out, there'd be a screenplay in no time.
You ready to play a man of mystery like Mr. Blanc? Could broaden your profile with the masses.
And relegate this gorgeous mug to scenes half filled with shadows? Hardly. There's a reason they call this the moneymaker, you know. You don't cover fine art with a sheet when it's on display, Gia.
You are so full of it. This shelf and the shelf behind it are crammed full of files. Each file contains information on a different New York VIP. Blanc was sitting on a cache of solid gold, or pure gelignite, depending on your view. There are enough names listed here to fill a city block. I don't have time to go through all of them. I had better stick to names I recognize, or I'll be here all night.
Okay, well, of course we're going to look for our own name.
Seized by my desire to see Mr. Blanc's true opinion of me, I decide to search out my own name. I'm surprised to see that my file is part of a larger folder, including files on my Zio and needles.
Giovanna Randazzo, infamously known as H-Shot Randazzo. An interesting study. Despite a semi-larcenous choice of career, she displays a curious flexibility of mind. Seems to approach every challenge with a fresh set of solutions, alternately opting between using force, wits, or trusting to her skills. May prove to be a viable partner as I contemplate retirement. Conduct embraces a wide spectrum. Murdered John Valentine in cold blood after the death of her uncle, but also regularly gives succor to the marginalized and performs other selfless acts. Recent endeavors include her role in bringing down Elijah Tellingast and masterminding the Pandemonium heist alongside a loose confederation of newly made associates. Potential value. Possible partnership in future after I am satisfied of her mettle. Once she finally comes to terms with the loss of her uncle, will become either a danger or an inestimable resource. Exploitable weakness. Shaky morality. Has selected a life of apathy against her own better instincts following the shock of her uncle's death. Vulnerable to manipulations toward egotism or altruism.
I ball my fists and lean against the shelf, taking care to breathe deeply for nearly a full minute. I can't tell if Mr. Blanc's profile on me is groundless speculation or not. I wait for my hands to stop shaking. It takes a while. The file on my Uncle Alfonso is older than the others. The paper slightly yellowed. Still, my curiosity gets the better of me.
I first dealt with Alfonso Randazzo following my return to the city in the turbulent days following the disaster. The lockdowns around the city provided ample opportunities for an experienced smuggler. Despite his death at the hands of the ham-handed John Valentine, his lessons regarding professionalism and honor were taken to heart by his niece, Giovanna, so his life was not spent in vain.
There's one final page in the file outlining my Zio's strengths and weaknesses. It has presumably been kept there for the purposes of thoroughness. It's older and more faded than the rest of the file.
Potential value. established smuggling channels throughout the city, made dependable by an unimpeachable code of honor, forgotten by many in the current day. Exploitable weakness. Honor. Randazzo matured during a period when honor still existed among thieves. In this era of power-mad barons and ruthless sycophants, he cannot hope to exist for long.
I can hardly swallow past the lump in my throat. I knew my uncle was too honorable for this world, but for someone else to see it so clearly, to confirm that idea, opens up that wound just a little bit.
Peter Portnoy, born Piotr Portnoy, known on the street as Needles. A small-time smuggler working out of White Street's Raymond district. Ex-partner, romantic, possibly, of Gia H. Randazzo, textile specialist. Portnoy was involved in the caper that claimed the life of Alfonso Randazzo, incurring lasting injuries from the job along the way. This job provided the friction point that ended his partnership with Gia Randazzo.
Even after all this time, it stings.
In recent days, Portnoy has been smuggling in and out of White Street, before and after the advent of the Civil War. Made a great score in the Hogmanay Hall job. See file. Usefulness. Specific jobs involving textile manufacture or fashion. Exploitable weakness. Gia Randazzo. The man fosters both love and hate for his ex-partner. Using her against him would provide leverage.
Maybe he hates me, but at least he's still alive.
Okay, well, there we go. Right, let's go with... screw it, the Underground.
Mr. Blanc was willing to work with Apollo, Sam, and the rest of us, so he must have checked us out thoroughly. I want to see what he knows.
Okay, there's a fair few. Right, let's start with Sam.
Samuel Ironhand Lowe, born and raised an Aether rat. Once attempted to separate himself from his youthful origins before the Terriers put an end to his plans. Took control of the fading Undercity League. Deft negotiation work found success in multiple baronies. Close, but secretive association with Apollo Diamond. Potential value. Master negotiator. Engenders trust. Exacting nature with an eye for detail. Exploitable weakness. Overly sentimental. Will do anything for the rats. Alcoholic. Apollo Diamond. Born Moish Zachariah Diamond to a tailor and a library assistant in the Lowers. Maintains a public persona as an affluent and charming man about town, film star, and philanthropist. A carefully constructed front, built after years of struggle in local theater and print advertisement. It was Moish's agent who suggested burying his Jewish origins and taking his working name. After his big break starring in the successful war serial About Face, Diamond took advantage of his newfound fame to expand his repertoire. During his rise, began a second career as an urban resistance fighter. Potential value. Communique smuggling to other islands. Access to information on resistance cells. Exploitable weakness. Bravado. Diamond can be goaded into rash action if he feels it is in character.
Usually I enjoy reading my own press, but that sure ended on a depressing note. I think I've heard enough from Mr. Blanc for now.
Mr. Blanc's file on Nellie is slim, although it doesn't take long to find out why.
Scientific prodigy. Fast-tracked into the Helicline Institute at 16. Most probably by members of the Trust. Connected to the Trust's development of Red Aether. Trusted Fellow by 19. Honorary doctorate from NYU. Reinhardt has reached out to me about a clandestine job of some sort. I must remember to update my file on her once I learn more.
It appears there was more here, but it's been removed, and a bookmark placed here. Interesting.
Cress Carter, expert mechanic. Free home of origin unclear. Lost an arm while saving an engineer during a disaster in her youth. Parents took on her contract debt, allowing her to leave. Known associate of both Samuel Ironhand Lowe and Apollo Diamond. Has been seen of late in the company of Gia H. Randazzo. gifted mechanic with limited capabilities in clandestine operations. Potential value: illegal vehicle customizations, superficial interactions with Aether rats. Exploitable weakness: guilt at having survived and being a burden on her parents.
Creep really thought he had me pigeonholed, huh? My life is not that cut and dried.
Of course it isn't. This is all one guy's perspective.
Right-hand woman to Magdalene Weiss and former leader of the Dreamland Does. Currently acting as Dreamland liaison to the Underground. Very much Marm's creature up until her defection. Psychologically fascinating. Sulzer believes that she is independent and strong, and cannot see that Weiss has molded her into her own image. Sulzer's rise through the ranks accelerated after foiling an attempt on Weiss's life. Despite rumbling that she was in on the assassination attempt, Sulzer's stock only rose in Weiss's eyes. It remains to be seen if Sulzer will actually make any waves under her own power. Many, including her former Doe sisters, are waiting to see if she is truly capable on her own. Potential value: information on Does, leverage against Killmeyer, access to Weiss's remaining Dreamland assets. Exploitable weakness: vanity, can be controlled by questioning the validity of her reputation. Luca Mazzi, leader of Dreamland's Legion, is a man who has never realized his capabilities. Stuck in a loop of guilt and shame over the death of his brother Marco, he holds a powerful urge to self-flagellate. Often gets in his own way, simple-mindedly prioritizing the general welfare of his people over any agenda that might affect meaningful change. Believes he is upholding his brother's legacy. Ironically, though loath to put his people at risk, seems to favor the block-with-your-face style of street fighting in the boxing ring. Can weather a great deal of physical punishment. Potential value: support against Dreamland Does, transportation of bulk goods, information on shipping schedules. Exploitable weakness: caretaker. A threat to the Legion, real or invented, can tie him up indefinitely.
I know it's wrong to speak ill of the dead, but I wish the guy was right here so I could loosen a few teeth for him.
Oh, now thinking about it, I wouldn't mind of having Sophie with me to hear what she thought about her file. But never mind, I guess on to the Barons.
Eli Tillinghast, a man of conviction and tragedy. His reputation as a bloodthirsty warrior is unimpeachable. His destruction of the Ferdinand Mill spelled doom for the boroughs. Decline came quickly after the Water Waste War. Tillinghast choked on the administration of his own hard-won spoils. A maddening end for a man of action, leading him to his own dependence and death by Red Aether. Following Tillinghast's demise at the hands of Gia Randazzo, White Street is embroiled in internecine conflict. With Lutzko and other loyalists still remaining, it appears the Old Guard is on top. For now.
Unlike the rest of the file, I also see a hastily handwritten note on scratch paper attached. An afterthought?
E.T. contacted by OP after Santa Anita bombing. Red A appeared in E.T.'s hands soon after. No coincidence. Magdalene Weiss, aka Marm, is a name synonymous with Dreamland. It would actually be far quicker to name the criminal enterprises she did not have a hand in than the reverse. Growing her own gang, the Does, into an unstoppable force, Weiss has since gone on to rule Dreamland with an iron fist. Yet, in her dotage, Weiss grew obsessed with control, causing unease in her ranks. A recent plot headed by Gia Randazzo and associates, in conjunction with Sophie Sulzer and the Does, ousted Weiss from her Dreamland throne. Weiss, exiled from the city she loved so well, is currently regrouping in Canada, carried by offshore caches under her control. Sulzer has her under clandestine observation.
A hastily written note on the back of a torn-out ledger sheet sticks out. It's cryptic, but I think I get the gist of it.
MW contacted by OP shortly after Pandemonium Blaze. Red Aether appeared soon thereafter. A pattern is emerging.
Okay, so, wait a minute. MW, yeah, that's Mom. OP, yeah, ET Eli. Who's OP? Right, that might be, yeah, something we need to look into later on. But yeah, it looks like we've got 2 more baronies left to deal with, so... Right, I'm assuming Millard is our next one.
Millard Meeks, aka the Glass Baron of Astoria Bay, knows better than to interfere with my operations here or elsewhere. The deal we have worked out benefits us both, and he is just intelligent enough to honor our pact of mutual ignorance. I have observed the letter of our agreement and hidden away my material outlining his child's parentage, as well as the source of the glass fortune. In the event of my death or forced exile resulting from his defaulting on our contract, the material is concealed within the oversized painting of the Baron in the Great Hall of the Glass Mansion, within the frame itself.
Okay, keep that in mind.
When viewed under black light, the text etched in silver chloride ink reveals a series of account numbers to offshore banks. Any competent forensic accountant will find his holdings to be less than legitimate.
Okay, interesting.
Beatrix Wilcox, the so-called Baroness of the Black Tails. My own personal history with this woman, this savior, avenger, and monster, is painful to recount. Yet recount it I must. Information is information.
The rest of the entry has been recorded in a cipher, and I can't find a code key anywhere. It looks as though Mr. Blanc has hidden Wilcox's secrets from everyone except himself.
Right, okay, well, let's copy down what let's copy down whatever information we can. Okay, and I guess we'll check out the next bookshelf.
This shelf is identical to the others, save for a single book sticking out almost 1.5 inches from the others. It bothers me. I don't believe the fastidious Mr. Blanc would leave such an imperfection in his lair. Instinctively, I start pulling books out of the shelf, letting them spill to the ground higgledy-piggledy. Recessed into the back of the shelf, I find a hidden safe.
Okay, very nice. Well, before we get on with this safe then, what have we got down here?
Scattered papers covered in spilled ink surround a half-packed satchel containing even more papers. Looks like he wasn't expecting trouble when it showed up at his door.
Okay, fine. I guess we will go to the safe then. Doesn't seem to be anything else here.
The safe has a combination lock with a backup keyhole. It looks, much like Mr. Blanc himself, implacable in its flawlessness. It's a tough old bastard.
Okay, well, I've got a combination apparently, but I could force it open. Although, thinking about it, maybe forcing it open is not a good idea. Yeah, he's got quite a lot of security, so I'm assuming he'd have a backup in case someone tried to break in. So yeah, I'm gonna just use the combination.
Blanc wrote everything down. He knew that memory is fallible. Maybe the combination is tied to something here, in his private office.
Okay. Travel collectibles.
I go back to the shelves and take a good look at the scorched stones labeled Great War. More importantly, I jot down the dates engraved on each one of the stones, noting also the gaps of the missing stones. With some trial and error, I figure out that the gaps in the stones are counters for which digits are to be used from each stone. On my third attempt, the safe pops open with a faint hiss.
Nice! There we go.
With slightly shaking fingers, I pry open the lid of the safe like a pirate's treasure. Only instead of rubies or doubloons, this safe is stuffed with vials. Mr. Blanc's most secret stash. Got it.
Great. Pass it over. Let's get to work.
I pull out the stack of files with both hands and fan them out over the desk. What we're holding here is pure dynamite.
There's got to be a file in here about Red Aether. That stuff keeps popping up. I bet Blanc knew something.
Okay, well, we might as well start at the top.
I'm cycling through file folders when my eyes are drawn to a file labeled Tobias Dufresne. Finally, some answers.
Tobias Dufresne, the Hanged Man. Beatrix Wilcox's old hunting dog. I never had to go up against him, thankfully. Retirement didn't agree with his former blacktail, and he made it known in no uncertain terms. Dufresne's history is one that remains hidden. Every informant, every spy I sent to ferret out his secrets, met a bloody end. After the 5th such attempt, Dufresne himself was waiting for me, in my private booth. Dufresne poured me a tumbler of whiskey, and recounted for me the details of what has come to be known as the Night of the Underline Revenant. It was more confession than conversation. I dare not recount the details of his rampage, but the broad strokes. After being asked to perform a job that went against his code, he was hung by his neck from the tow line of an island and left for dead. 3 days later, he boarded a ferry off the island, carrying a sack filled with the tongues of every underboss who voted for his sentence of death. The Baron himself was left hanging from that same tow line. I suspect that the Trust aided Dufresne in his quest of vengeance to acquire his allegiance. He never revealed why he sought me out, but I read between the lines. He was warning me to stay out of his affairs.
I paused to reflect. I don't know whether or not I would have taken the Trust's aid and pledged to them if they had helped me with my own revenge after Valentine's murder. If it weren't for my friends, I might have. A few more folders in, I spy Nellie's name, as well as the name Olympus Park. Maybe the gaps in Nellie's file can be filled in here?
A minute. OP. Olympus Park. Oh. Okay, now yes, I get it. Right.
Receiving a hand-delivered note from anyone in the Heights is unusual enough. But to receive a note from Reinhardt, a rising star in Olympus Park, was quite shocking. Even I have few contacts within the Heights. In the note, Reinhardt mentioned to me that her life was in danger, and she believed the bombing of Olympus Park was specifically done to halt her research. I immediately started my own investigation. While I have few agents in the Heights, the Trust has them everywhere. I was able to get the information I needed through some unusual methods. It was from these arrangements that I was able to acquire a rubbing of a special seal. I believe it to be the secret seal of the Trust. It must not be shown to anyone, as its value as an identifier is irreplaceable.
I look over the carbon copy, paying attention to the indicated seal. I know I've seen it before somewhere, but I can't place when or where. I stare at it until it's burned into my memory. If Mr. Blanc says to keep it secret, it's likely a secret worth killing over. My hackles raise. For all I know, he was shot over this rubbing. I quickly hide the file from the others. After my examination of the top and bottom 2/3 of the pile, I settle down to flip through the middle portion. I go through one by one before I finally find the record I'm after. The dissemination of Red Aether.
The Red Aether events in White Street and Dreamland were far too close together for me to consider them accidental leaks. My informants across the baronies, once told what to look for, produced proof of more. Every barony bribed with Red Aether held the following traits in common. They were all located in the lowers, and every one was granted Red Aether following an action that destabilized the lowers. Further analysis revealed that the relationship between the Trust and the lowers barons goes back decades, to the founding of each barony. The Trust has been king-making for decades.
A chill runs down my spine. I'm way in over my head here. Every lowers baron who has emerged as an unassailable iron fist has done so for this shadow cabal? The strings pulled here are so far above me that I can't even see them. How does a group have this much control over the Barons? How many Elis and Marms have the Trust created? I've got what we're after. The evidence we need. The Trust supplied White Street, Dreamland, and others with red Aether. Maybe Nellie can help us make sense of this.
This is just what we were after. Let me have a look.
I square up the pile and shove it over to Apollo, who starts leafing through it after reading the summary. A few pages in, his eyes cloud over. I recognize that pensive look. Apollo?
It all sounded so simple at the start. But it never ends. For every wrong we right, for every tyrant we stop, another takes their place. Where does it end? How many enemies are there?
It doesn't change anything, or... No, it doesn't end with the fight.
Apollo, taking down the people who cause the suffering has always been only half the fight. I know it's not always as fun as punching out a crooked guard or burning down a weapons depot, but when we take the machine down, we have to build something in its place.
Inspiring others, you say? Just the job for a movie star, isn't it?
He beams like he's posing for a publicity still. I snort, trying not to laugh. Proud, brave fool. He makes you want to believe in him. Hope. That's what Apollo brings to the table. He's lost in thought for a few heartbeats, then nods. He looks simultaneously younger and older somehow. An acting trick, maybe. Or maybe the weight of responsibility. And a glimmer of hope.
I remember what you said during the heist. It's not enough to just plan. We have to keep our people motivated. You got a point, Gia. You've got a great head on those shoulders.
I can't help but blush at his praise. His looks, his energy are infectious. Something about him makes everyone want to be the best version of themselves. Like we're all heroes, maybe.
All right. We've got what we're after. Let's grab what we can and move out. We'll have plenty to talk about when we get back to headquarters.
We've accomplished what we set out to do. Time to get back to the hole.
Oh, okay. Just taking us straight back there. Fine.
My adrenaline and nerve have both bottomed out completely. I find a bunk to crash in and sleep for almost 14 hours. We all meet up later that evening to discuss our findings. Getting everyone up to speed on the information Mr. Blanc provided us proves no easy task. The Trust, Dufresne, the Red Aether, everything.
Poor Mr. Blanc. He was so very gallant. Even knowing assassins were after him, he stayed to the end to finish his work. To help us.
Perhaps your bravery in fleeing the Trust inspired him to act bravely as well.
Nellie, here is the file Mr. Blanc had on Red Aether. This is what we were after. Why don't you take a good look at it, and let us know what you find? I hand Nellie the file. Gradually, the lines of sorrow fade from her unlined face as she becomes embroiled in the work, her analytical mind giving context to the raw information we couldn't absorb. Just as quickly, her pensive face turns to one of shock and alarm. She slams the file down on the table. She moves with such sharp shock that Apollo and I grab for our guns instinctively.
This is monstrous. Unbelievable. Gia, this is why the well has been growing. It's worse than we ever could have imagined.
Nellie, focus. What is it you're trying to say? What's happening?
It's the spread and concentration of the energy, to be exact. Aether affects the atmosphere, you see. Usually, proper refinement removes the harmful effects, by and large. If it didn't, the city would have been torn out of the sky years ago. Even General Eli's weapon, on its own, should barely have an impact. But with multiple baronies using red Aether, the effects are multiplied exponentially. The energies are tearing the well open day by day. It's like throwing gasoline over a fire.
Okay, slow down, Nellie. Breathe. So, if the lower baronies are using red Aether and this is causing the well to worsen, how do we fix it?
Short of everyone agreeing to stop using red Aether, I suppose. If we were to refine red aether into harmonic aether, that would do it.
Take a new weapon of power away from the Barons? Seems unlikely. Maybe we could go the harmonic aether route given enough time, but that's something only you can do right now, correct?
Right, but we still have Daisy primed to fix the well. At the very least, that should buy us time to work out a more permanent solution.
If red aether is so dangerous, why spread it? If the Trust has a good thing going influencing the lowers, why are they intentionally feeding the well?
That's what's so alarming. It makes no sense at all. I can't make heads or tails of why someone would do such a thing so deliberately. Why be so reckless? Are they trying to destroy the lowers?
Okay. Right, Brainiac. Please tell me I can put a point or two into that, because yeah, it's going to be hard at the moment. Oh, I can. The only one who can do it, really, is Cress, so good. Thank you. And, okay, that's put it down to a medium chance now. Right, let's give it a go.
Something is nagging at my memory. I tune Nellie out as I search for a scrap of information. Something I heard or saw earlier in the evening.
Nice.
I suddenly remember something Mr. Blanc said to us in the alley before the attack. Something about the Trust and their moves against Nellie.
This organization knows just how to push the Barons. They've been battling over the Trust's scraps for decades. Why would they stop now?
Maybe they are. Maybe they want the Barons to destroy each other.
But why?
All those people.
I don't know. We're still missing something. But some of it feels right. They want the lowers too focused on one another to stop whatever's coming.
Whatever the case, if there are more baronies with red aether than we thought, we're running out of time.
Okay then. How much time do we need to buy you before the device is ready to roll out?
Oh, the device is ready. The issue is one of proximity. In order to fix as much of the well as possible, to really complete the job, we need to move closer. In actual fact...
Nellie pauses as she rolls her eyes skyward, mumbling math under her breath.
Yes. For best results, we will have to travel within the well itself. Extremely dangerous, yes, but also necessary.
A sudden flash from the window blinds us all with white light. I pull my gun, but the spots in my eyes keep me from finding a target.
Uh-oh.
By the time I'm seeing anything but spots, whoever was at the window is long gone. I strain my ears and hear rapid footsteps fading away into the distance.
Get them!
Apollo is the first out the door. My feet pound asphalt in an all-out sprint when I run headlong into Cress.
Whoa, 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 where's the fire? I just saw Apollo taking off like a bat out of hell. Mind telling me what's going on?
No time, Cress. Someone spied on the meeting. Some guy with a camera. Gotta stop him.
Go then. I'll let the others know.
I dash off, but I can hear Cress call out to me before I'm out of earshot.
There are only so many places he can go, Gia. We'll get him.
Okay, let's see if we can find them. Well...
As I approach the ferry, I recognize Mr. Throg. In his grip is my quarry, held by the scruff of the neck. The kid has a camera on a strap and a notepad sticking out of his pocket.
Well, that was easy. The first place I looked.
Hey, hands off, Charlie.
Nobody on the ferry that I don't recognize. Rules.
Aw, come on, Chief. I need to lay low. I've got some toughies after me.
Who do we have here?
Stowaway.
Hey, I got a name. It's Benny. Benny Castellano. My friends call me Big Mouth.
Big Mouth, huh? Should I have heard of you?
Maybe you read my byline. I'm a reporter for the Midtown Crier, and you got no right to keep out the press.
It's just a kid, maybe 110 soaking wet, and I bet my back teeth not more than 15 years old. If he has pictures, though, we might be sunk. How should I play this?
Okay, I don't think... Yeah, we're gonna be able to do these But Smooth Talker and Dodger? Probably not. Ooh, Smooth Talker I can though. Okay. Knock that one up. And Dodger. Nope. Fine. Well, I'll see if we can get lucky. Almost. Okay, I've got a couple of rerolls at least. Oh, nowhere near. And again, come on. Really? Damn it.
Relax, kid. Nobody's going to hurt you. We just want a few words.
No, Dice Doll. I've seen this picture. Probably trying to lure me into an alley so you can work me over with a pair of knucks. No thanks. You're wasting your breath, Doll. I don't care if you got thumb screws and a blowtorch. I ain't giving up my scoop.
Damn it. After dealing with this trust malarkey, I'm in no mood for this. I'll take it from here. All right, march, Benny. You're coming with me. We're going to have a talk.
Why should I go with you?
Because this is the only way off the island for you. And there are much more dangerous people than me out there looking to put the kibosh on your story and the reporter behind it. Bet on it.
No promises. Understand?
Okay, well, that just wasted everything that I had, but never mind.
Benny sits under the lights, fearless with the energy of youth. I envy him that. Sam, Apollo, Nellie, Cress, and I take turns interrogating the kid.
So I lean hard on a few stoolies and find out about this rinky-dink excuse for a resistance group who the lower barons keep tripping over and eating dirt for their trouble. I figure you guys for a bunch of amateurs, and sure enough, some guys around town tells me about your little scout meetings here at the lighthouse. I stake the place out, no big deal.
Yeah, right. So how long have you been at this half-pint? Who are you talking to about our goings-on?
A couple meetings now. I heard something about Mom Weiss, something about Red Aether, and the well, some kind of device. Secret society stuff. Haven't written the story yet, still connecting the dots. But now I think maybe I'll send off a few photos of this big-time movie star stink bug pretending to be some kind of resistance hero.
Benny, if I may, I'm afraid we cannot allow you to share what you've learned to the public at large. Such knowledge is dangerous business for you and for us. Even the threat of exposure will not stop these people.
Don't talk down to me, Gramps. My press pass is the real deal. My pen is mightier than anyone's sword. And, hey, watch it!
While Benny is spouting off, Cress upends his bag on the table, its contents clattering and scattering to all corners. Nellie and Cress go over every item.
Okay, well, let's see what he's got.
There's also a half-open pack of cigars, but no lighter, and a sawed-off baseball bat, the kind taxi drivers keep up their sleeves.
Okay.
How about you, Nellie? Anything interesting? Nellie is peering closely at a photograph, barely developed. Her perfect nails dig into the paper, tearing at the fibers.
Hey, watch it with those!
Look at this! Do you have any idea what this is?
Nellie passes me the photograph. I scrutinize it carefully.
Okay, well, at least Brainiac will get us something on this one.
I'm no scientist, but I've read the odd article here and there and wandered around Nellie's lab more than once. I think I recognize the device in the picture. Nellie, this looks kind of like that thing you're building in the lab. Some kind of amplifier?
Exactly! It's just what we need! This is an Aether amplifier. A powerful one, too, from the looks of it. It could amplify Daisy's range and power, so we can fix the well without needing to go inside it. Excuse me, Benjamin, was it? Where did you see this device?
That thing? I saw it in Nation's Crusade. It was locked away in one of their missions, at the base of a tower. I snuck in after hours and I snapped some photos. Dunno what it is, but it looked important. And it's Benito, doll.
Well, it's simple then, isn't it? We go to Nation's Crusade, explain the situation, and convince the Baron to let us use their amplifier.
The room goes silent, except for the rumble of the island's lifters and the rhythmic spinning of the fan over the table.
What? What am I missing?
Nellie, dear child, what you describe as our ideal solution, yes. But the Baron of Nation's Crusade? She is not always reasonable. She...
No point in dressing it up. Annie Sullivan Walker believes she's been appointed by God to raise Nation's Crusade to prominence. She can't be reasoned with. We've tried.
They're not wrong. Annie has a way about her. She speaks directly to her people's hearts. They love her for it. They'll do anything for her. She's also the only one with a long-surviving barony out by the well.
What Cress isn't saying is that she's a few lines short of a screenplay. Cress, I know you've been close to them in the past, but these days, Annie's people are fanatical.
I heard about Annie's takeover of Nation's Crusade a few years back. She's got a reputation as touched, either by God or by madness. Would she be open to negotiation?
Doubtful, but she might be willing. Her mission is committed to helping the needy. She even sends her devotees to provide relief aid to other baronies, though they use that as an excuse to recruit more to their cause.
Those missions are used to spread Annie's propaganda and lure people into her cult, darling. She's worse than a talent agent. Annie's doing her best to raise a massive flock by hook or crook, all in the name of being neighborly, of course.
Cress, I didn't know you spent time in Nation's Crusade. What's the
It was after I left my free home. I wasn't sure where to go or what to do. Nation's Crusade, for all their faults, have always been kind to Aetherians looking to start over. Sam set me up with them when things went bad.
The least I could do, Chris. You deserved it.
No, Sam, don't blow it off. The least you could have done was nothing. And plenty of people offer that. Same with Nation's Crusade. They got me work in a garage, fixed me up with my arm. From what I've heard, though, Nation's Crusade is a whole different animal now. They may be taken by force when they can't convert. I hear Annie is different now, too.
Okay, let's say we head to Nation's Crusade to lay hands on this amplifier. Are we sure it will work with Daisy?
You have a point. We'll need to examine the amplifier in person to make sure it's compatible. And if Benjamin could sneak in, I'm sure we can.
Ha! Don't sell me that cheap, sweetheart. I had to tap some contacts and went through 3 cartons of smokes to get in that far. Also, the Bucketheads have built a bunch of new missions. It's a whole new ballgame.
The kid's right. Annie's been expanding in a big way from what I've heard.
But you know which mission is the right one, don't you, Benny?
Yeah. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I do. And I'll even show it to you. For a price.
Okay. I'm sorry, kid, but yeah, let's intimidate you.
Look, kid, you sure it's a good idea throwing your weight around like this? We've gone up against barons before and won. Not much challenge in sending you over the ledge if it comes to it.
Gia, you're not serious.
Aren't I?
Oh boy.
Be a good boy and show us the mission, and we'll throw you a few crumbs. Step out of line, and it's the big adios.
Okay, ma'am. I'm along for the ride. Say, I was hanging on to this little number just in case. Maybe you can use it.
We accept, Benito, but we have conditions. First, keep your mouth shut about the underground. Second, Gia's in charge. Don't question her, just do what she says. Third, you may as well get comfortable. You, Apollo, and I are gonna have a long talk about what we can do for one another. Put the camera away.
Aw, nuts.
Okay, right. Well, at least Yeah, that got us another level up. What's good. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I think next we are off to Nations Crusade. So, I think we'll start that next time, and we'll also do a quick run round of the whole, just to make sure, yeah, we've not missed anything. So, if you want to see what Nations Crusade is like, join me back here next time, and we'll find out together. But in the meantime, I've been Sank84, and this has been Aether Iron. Thank you so much for joining me. Look after each other, and until next time, goodbye.